Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Breaking the Cycle. I am joined today with our special guest, Mel, who is the queen of the Orange Pill app. And Beardy. Unfortunately, Joby and Grind couldn't be with us today. They had family obligations. So
losers.
It's two of us with Mel today. So it's going to be a very fun episode. How are you doing today, Mel?
I'm good. How about you guys? I am also in a rainy, windy place.
Yeah, it's rainy and windy here, and we are honored. We don't get many ladies, so I don't know if you knew this, Mel. First, Joe had to wear a wig. We couldn't get any females on the show, and so I think you're the.
I understand.
Is this number 2, Joe?
Did you know that like 91% of all finance, including Bitcoin, is men?
It's a lot of sausage, so we are super honored to have you.
It's an absolute sausage, no doubt.
It is this huge sausage fest. Yeah, it absolutely is. The Orange Pill app, I scroll through and I'm like, I feel so bad for any women on this app. They must get like some really cringe, like thirsty messages being like, "Be my Bitcoin queen." I don't know.
It's probably not much different than like Tinder, though, I would imagine.
It is not a dating app of all things. Now, I mean, how could it be? It's all dudes.
I mean,
so if you like dudes, then it's perfect for you.
Yes, I know it's not.
And
I'm just saying it's
great with that. No problem.
I'm just saying there's a lot of dudes.
But otherwise,
could you maybe bring some ladies into the space? I don't know.
Look, I've tried. Most women look at me like I have lobsters coming out of my ears. And I have to go, like, for example, I spent a week with my high school girlfriends. I did not say the word Bitcoin for a week because they look at me like I'm insane.
Well, you're not?
No, I'm absolutely not. I've been into Bitcoin for 7 years now. Everyone who knows me knows this, but I'm still crazy Bitcoin mom. I'm still crazy Bitcoin lady. I'm still, it's like I just can't get through to them.
Well, that's a good place to start. Tell us how you got Orange Pill in the beginning.
So in 2015, for some unknown reason, I bought $100 worth of Bitcoin, and it was $250 for a coin. And I forgot all about it. Then in 2017, I had a virtual assistant, Preeti, and she asked me if I had heard about Bitcoin and like, did you see what the price is doing? And I'm like, wait a minute, I've got some of that. So I go hunting for it. I find it, and my $100 is worth $4,700. I'm like, what is this? What is it doing? Is it going to keep doing this? Like all of a sudden it just made like, okay, something that's not, something that is nothing doesn't do this. Like, what's happening? So I went down the rabbit hole and I started to learn, and it did not take me much time at all that it clicked. And I went, oh my God, I need more Bitcoin. So I, of course, thought, because many people think this, I'll just trade. I'll learn how to trade Bitcoin and then I can have more Bitcoin, right? That's not how things work. But that's how I found Tone Vase. So in the early days of my Bitcoining, I, of course, find Bitcoin Twitter, and I have no idea what's going on. And I don't know who to listen to. The shit coins are everywhere. And it's like, well, are those like Bitcoin? Are they going to be good too? Or what? Somehow I find Tone Vase. Within the first 5 minutes of listening to him, he explains everything. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, they're shit coins. Don't touch those because they're not real.
You were lucky.
I mean, and to this day, oh no, I messed with them. Don't worry. I think everybody does, because I think it's your, again, you think that this is related.
You're lucky. The first person you see is Tone Vase. Usually the first person I see was like BitBoy and all these.
Oh, no. He wasn't the first person I saw, but he was the first person that made perfect sense within about 10 minutes. And I just must have, tuned into the right episode. I'm not even sure how I found him, but he was just like, listen, this is bullshit. Okay. There's nothing behind these. These are guys who are trying to make a Bitcoin type thing it's basically a money grab.
Right.
And I'm like, aha. And then like I went down the rabbit hole. I looked up, let's see, I remember looking up, what is it, XLM and Cardano, ADA. No offices. Like I Googled them. They don't even have offices. Like they don't have employees. They don't do anything. So I'm like, oh boy, this isn't good. But there are still, and like I said, this is probably like 2018 that I'm like figuring all this out. And it still blows my mind that there are people who cannot search for themselves and see there is nothing to this. But Bitcoin is very different.
Wasn't it 2017 when they spun up all they call it the ICO craze, where they just made a bunch of coins?
Yes.
99% of them are no longer even,
I never like figured any of that out. Like I never got lucky enough to get some coin drop and then cash it in. Like some people did, and I mean, good for them if they did. But yeah, I never got quite that lucky. However, I do remember. I remember when Coinbase. So Coinbase originally only offered Bitcoin, and I remember the day Ethereum, Litecoin, and Btrash went live, like with it. And Btrash went from like $0 to $2,500 in about 10 seconds. And I went, what the hell is going on here?
So it's just you were like, I wish I had some of that then.
Right. Well, no kidding. I didn't, of course.
Nobody knew like everybody was like, wait, which one's the real Bitcoin? So that then you could took that and put it into real Bitcoin.
Well, and I think if you had Bitcoin, then because of the fork, you got Btrash with it. So you actually did get some Btrash that you could cash in for Bitcoin.
There you go.
So kudos and congratulations to anyone who had that happen, and then you did turn it into Bitcoin.
Kind of glad I would have been so confused. So like, wait, which Bitcoin?
It was crazy.
Yeah,
it was crazy. I mean, what I've learned now is like right now, while we are scraping the bottom of hell, this is when you should be buying.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you don't buy after this. You don't buy when things go bananas. You ride it. You sell a little bit at the top. Wait for the next cycle to buy some more lower.
So don't buy when Joe's wearing his mink coat and riding around in his Lambo is what you're saying.
I'm not going to get a Lambo, sir. Yeah. I'm going to get a Pro-Charged Suzuki Samurai.
Fair.
Just so you know, he's also streaming from BitBoy's trunk. So you know.
Yeah. Poor BitBoy.
He popped one air hole in there for him.
I actually am trying to buy Ben's Lambo, to be completely honest with you.
Are you?
Bull Run. I want to buy Ben's Lambo just so I can drive it around and piss everyone off. But
I would be very proud of you if you could afford a Lambo. However, I feel like a Toyota is just a better car altogether.
I actually drive a 99 Toyota Land Cruiser. That's the paint is faded on it. Like it doesn't look the best, but I get more compliments from like rich old people driving around in my area because where I live in Dallas area, it's kind of the big money area, and so you would be amazed how many guys.
Are you up here in Highland Park? Are you near the Highland Park?
It's not super far from me. It's about a 20-minute drive to Highland Park. I live in Frisco, so right where the Cowboys have all their big stadium stuff and their practice facility, all that. So I live in that area. But they're just Toyota. I love Toyotas. Yeah, don't get me. I will go on a rant.
Toyota I have that I've been driving since 2017.
What do you got?
A Toyota Avalon.
I like
the
those.
Year 2000. 2000.
Those are nice.
I like the Avalon. It's a great car. It's probably one of the nicest cars I've ever had. It's got heated seats, sunroof, leather, and it's a black sedan. You cannot tell that this car is 23 years old.
Yeah, that's like my Land Cruiser. Yeah, that's I'm a Land Cruiser. I get so many people just stop and be like, I don't see those very often. Those are cool. And I'm like, yeah, they're pretty cool. I had a 2019 TRD Pro Tacoma that got hit by a drunk driver and totaled.
Ugh.
And yeah, I was so mad. I had that thing paid off. It was the Voodoo Blue limited edition color, one of 5,000 that got imported into the States, or not even, I think it was 500 that got imported into the States. Like, yeah.
Anything nicer than a 2000 Corolla is a shit coin. Personally, I don't even sit in a chair. I'm sitting in a beanbag that sold it so I could buy more Bitcoin. So I'm with you guys.
Yeah,
right. I'm of the belief that a car is a depreciating asset, and I am just driving it until it dies. And any money that I haven't had a car payment in years and years. As a matter of fact, my brother works for GM, and we needed a second car because my son needed a car. So he is now driving the Avalon. And we got a 2019, what is it, GMC something that I cannot remember. I have been bitching about this car since the day it arrived. I'm like, okay, first of all, I hate you because you're completely connected to the internet, and I feel like you're tracking every move I make.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized, like, my Avalon is disconnected from the entire, like, no one knows I'm driving that. Now, of course, if you have your phone with you, you're being tracked everywhere. But so that was my first annoyance. My second annoyance is that there's no gear shift. It's these weird buttons that you have to you have to pull them.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. That is weird. Dodge does something like that. My buddy's got it on his truck where it's like a dial. And I went to drive it because he had been drinking. And I was like, I'll come pick you up. Don't worry about it. Girlfriend at the time drove my car, drove him. And I went to go pull the gear shifter. I'm like, just my hand went to nothing. And I'm like, the fuck is this? And then he's like, oh, it's a dial. And I'm like, really? What?
I hate it.
Exactly.
Put a damn gear shift in the car.
Exactly. Now.
So yeah, I'm actually mad at this car. I'm mad at this GMC 2019 car. I got a really good price on it because my brother works for GM. So it was like a $20,000 car. I paid cash for it. But I'm still annoyed.
Nice.
Like, I have to buy a car. God damn it. I want to buy Bitcoin with that $20,000.
Yeah, honestly, what I did after my my truck got totaled, they gave me 43,000 for it, which is about what I paid for it. And then I bought the Land Cruiser for cash, and then for it was 17,000, and then I put everything else into Bitcoin and crypto, and then a few other assets. Now, I had a question for you. We're talking, kind of about, because this kind of leads to one of my questions I had. What do you think about people who invest in like Solana and the small and the alts and stuff like that? Just hear me out, with the intent to buy more Bitcoin, right? To flip it into Bitcoin in the bull run. Because people like me didn't get into Bitcoin until it was over 20,000. I was able to get some when it dropped down to like 15 this year, but that's the lowest that I've ever personally been able to buy it. So personally, I buy some alts to then flip to Bitcoin, or and then to half of it's going to go to Bitcoin and half of it's going to go to real estate for rentals, in which I will then take that profit to put into Bitcoin.
So the first thing I want to say is, Bitcoiners, the whole point of Bitcoin is freedom, right? And being able to do what you wish. And Absolutely. We have, unfortunately, even though we all say we believe that, we do encounter the most judgmental people on the planet in the space. They do not want you to do anything else. And then they want to tell you what to do with your Bitcoin, what you can and cannot buy with it. I'm of the belief that you can do whatever you wish.
You're not going to tell me there's hypocrisy there, are you?
Oh, there just a bit. And do you know that I've had to bring it up on Twitter a couple of times, and I was a little afraid to do it but I needed to say, hey, listen, Bitcoin is about freedom and being able to make your own choices and do what you want. Why are you judging the shit out of everything? And the 2 times that I've really like done it, both times
I imagine
they went, oh shit. And I really did get a response, like an oh shit response. Like I hadn't thought of that.
But we're saying,
and I'm like, okay, then what the hell are you doing here? You know? But let's get back to shitcoins for a second. There isn't much that has beat Bitcoin. All right. So just because I would just be careful with it because I don't trust any of them. Period.
Mm-hmm.
They're not real. There's nothing behind them. Even Solana, I mean, I don't care what you're talking about. You know, I personally am of the belief that Solana was created by venture capital, and venture capital, including FTX, had something to do with it. And I believe they pumped those bags, everybody cashed out, and now it's done. It might happen again, but I certainly would not. So it's like, I am not a rich person. I never have been.
Not yet.
But not yet. But I am.
I got a good question. Then would
$10 buy for Bitcoin every day.
Would you sleep with Sam Bankboy Fried?
No.
I'm just kidding. Oh, sorry, I forgot
really
to ask.
He knows what he's doing? No. Do you think he would have any skills? Do you think he has any skills in the bedroom? Absolutely not. Ew.
Probably.
Well, I know he's got some kind of HPV from Caroline because I saw her Tinder dating profile back when she got arrested. Did you ever see that? Her Tinder dating profile? Oh my God. No. It was, I can only put it, I try not to swear on here very often. I know I've broken that rule a few times today, but no, you're totally good. I have a bad habit of swearing. I grew up in a law enforcement and military family. So like my second word was fuck. So I you know, just, I'm to the point where I'm trying to create my small business and everything. So like, I'm trying to get away from swearing and I'm trying, you know, more professional or whatever, but it was fucking hilarious when I saw her dating profile. I sent it to everyone. I was dying laughing. She has like both kinds of HPV or herpes or something.
Wait. Hold on. Back up.
Hold down.
I am lucky in that I have never online dated. So are you telling me that you put this shit in your profile? You put your medical
Yeah, no, I'll try and find it and send it to you offline. But it was, she's like only interested in polyamorous relationships, currently partnered with like 3 different partners, must be comfortable with orgies and group sex.
Wow.
Some other shit about having like whatever STDs she has, like must be okay with HPSV fucking plus. It was a whole thing. It was this whole ordeal. Yeah, it was pretty wild. I'll see if I can find it and send it to you.
I like the way this
I have to almost admire her openness about it.
Well, you're lucky that you're not in this generation of younger dating. I'm 32 and have just sworn off dating entirely. It's wild, the shit that you see on, even like trying to go on dates. I had a gal that I went on a date with, or I was supposed to go on a date with. She canceled the date on me to go on a date with a different guy. Told me she was doing this. Halfway through the date, texted me and said, I made a mistake. This guy is lame. Can I come over after and we can hook up? And I'm like, delete my fucking phone number.
Classy lady.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Bitch.
It's wild. It's wild.
Okay. So are these women, where are they learning this from? I mean, this is unbelievable.
Unfortunately, and I don't really like to go on like the red pill guys. Like, I don't think that they're right on a lot of things, but unfortunately, a lot of it is like through social media, right? Like, there's so many guys out there who want pretty girls. Like, And you can say the same thing for guys, right? Like guys will embellish their lives on social media and make themselves out to be and look something like they're not. And it's just it's
human
nature these days. You know,
I just feel like, well, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I would try to meet some people in person.
Yeah,
I don't know where to do it, but
that is so old fashioned. Wait, Grindr is going to
but I
kick
feel
our
like
butts.
then at least you could get to know somebody and what they're really about. I feel like I just feel bad that this is how dating is. It's so weird.
Yeah, there is a large growing number of men who are my age and around their 30s who have just said, I am not going to date anymore. Like I'm done. I'm going to focus on building my small business, or I'm going to focus on investing, or I'm going to just focus on myself.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, anyways, I guess.
I mean, and I'm not like a big church goer or anything, but if you do go to church, maybe that's not a bad place.
Yeah.
Maybe some meetups that have to do with things you like, or book club. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but yeah, Tinder isn't it.
Anyway, Mel, we're going to find him a date. Don't you worry, but we're going to need to know about the Orange Pill app, or Grindr is going to kick our butts.
All right. Well, here's the
hold on one second.
Oh, while you pull that up, I forgot my number one question. Who do you think is going to win the 2023 poker tournament held at the lovely Las Vegas, the Unconfiscatable Conference? Who do you think is going to win?
I'm going to go ahead and let's see. Based on who I see signed up right now, I'm betting on my sister.
Oh, I thought you were going to say me. I think it's going to be me and Tone Vase heads up, and then I'll probably chip away at him.
My sister is actually a really good poker player.
She
played the World Series of Poker Ladies Tournament last year, and she placed.
That's good, because I'm really, really bad. I'm going to try not to get out on the very first hand, because I want to hang out with these people.
That's awesome. Yeah, she's really good. She has a very straight face, and she can do it. I don't know how, but she does. So I'm going to bet on her first, and then I'll bet on Tone second, unless Socrates shows up. Socrates shows up, I'm going to put him in first place, my sister in second, and Tone in third.
Ooh, Socrates is a real guy.
All right. Well, we have the
indeed.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put a bet in Vegas in for that, and we'll see if I. So we do have you. Do you want to talk about Unconfiscatable and the things that you're going to be doing and the premise behind it, and you know,
yes,
and what?
So Unconfiscatable was my first conference ever. I went by myself. Middle-aged white woman shows up, and it changed my life. I made some of the best friends I have to this day. I learned a ton. I also became dedicated to helping Tone with Unconfiscatable. He has a voice that's very much needed. He can't be bought. All right. As long as I've known Tone, there's no amount of money you could give him to say something that he did not absolutely believe in. So and because of that, and
for those who don't know, Tone Vase, who is Tone Vase and where did he come from?
I don't know.
Besides his mom.
Yeah. Tone he's a Russian New Yorker. And he's from Brooklyn. And he started out teaching and then kind of went into some Wall Street stuff. He heard about Bitcoin early on, like 2010. And to hear him tell it, you know, he's probably one of the few people who didn't get into it because of Silk Road. Or, you know, he actually looked at it as like, ooh, this is interesting. So he got into it, and then he started to teach. He's always been a trader. So I took his class. So the first time I met Tone was actually in 2018 in Chicago. There was a conference here, and he was speaking, and I decided to take his trading class. And, I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. I mean, it was just going over my head. But I stuck it out, and I spent years learning. I mean, I can read a chart now, and I'm pretty good at it. Now, am I a good trader? Those are two different things. Traders are one thing, good chart analysts are another. So I learned all this from Tone. And then I also learned that Tone tells the truth. He knows what's happening. I don't always agree with his opinions. Him and I do come from different ends of maybe the political spectrum, though I am getting closer to his direction than ever. And I think that has to do with Bitcoin.
Can a man be a woman?
What's that?
Can a man be a woman? I'm just kidding.
Sure. Absolutely. Man or woman, they can do whatever they want. Again, remember, it's all about Bitcoin. It's about freedom and doing whatever you want. Bitcoin doesn't care, right?
So Bitcoin don't care.
Nope, Bitcoin does not care. I need to make a t-shirt that says Bitcoin doesn't care. Anyway, so I met him for the first time. I took his class. I continued to learn. I just continued to be there all the time. And I'm pretty sure he was like, who is this girl? And is she still here? Like, years go by. So last year, I was invited to Unconfiscatable because I have an events background. So I am an antique, vintage, and art dealer. I've been buying and selling stuff since 1998. I was an early eBay adopter. That was what got me started in the antiques vintage world, which was really weird at the time. Most people get into it because their parents, their grandparents were into it, and they were hiding under the table at the flea market, and they've learned that way. I, however, learned about it via eBay. When I started, my husband had somebody found a box of, they're called promo cars. And from a certain period of time, the 50s through the 70s, if you bought a new car, like let's say you bought a Lincoln, a Ford, Lincoln Continental, you got a 1 in 24 scale model of this car with your car. There were only 3 makers of these cars, and it was very much a Detroit area thing where I grew up. So I decided to put these on eBay. I don't know why, but I got a scanner. I couldn't even afford a digital camera. They were that expensive. I laid these things on the scanner. I put a blanket over the top, and I scanned it. Then I would flip it over, scan it on its side, scan it. Then I upload. I can't even imagine how much time this was taking. But I started getting them listed. And all of a sudden, people were bidding on them all over the place. And I'm like, oh my God, it was so fun. It was so exciting. And then in the meantime, the guys that were collecting these, and yes, they were all dudes, they were teaching me everything about these cars, what to look for, what company of, like Johan cars tend to have a warping issue, and, the MPC cars tend to have vent post brakes, and they taught me everything. And learning all this made it easier for me to list them. I made more money because I was more accurate in my descriptions. And I realized, holy shit, there's a collector base for just about everything. If you're going to sell things on eBay and you're a little person, then you have to sell things that have a pretty good markup. And you can't just go buy wholesale unless you're like Walmart, because you're turning it over, but your profit margin is so slim that you're really not making any money. So vintage, I realized, and resale was where it was at. I could buy for, I could buy something and make 50 times my money, 10 times my money. And that's the direction I went in. And I just started to learn everything I could. I watched every episode of Antiques Roadshow.
I know kind of like a guilty pleasure of mine. I like it when they bring on Rolexes and like watches and stuff, because I love old watches and stuff like that. So that's actually a really cool show to watch. If the viewers haven't checked it out, it's kind of a guilty pleasure of mine.
And it's on YouTube. Like you can watch, like I realized I had missed like 5 years of the Antiques Roadshow, like this winter. So I went back and watched, and I mean, I saw so much amazing stuff. They even, I don't know if anyone caught it, they even did like Magic the Gathering cards.
Yeah.
Like they're starting to really show what's being collected today, not just old, we call it, brown wood furniture.
Yeah. Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards are blowing up right now.
Really?
Yeah. If you
I'm a big Bitcoin trading card person myself. Do you know about those?
No, I had no idea that's a thing.
What? Okay, stop everything.
Mel, I live under a rock.
Hold on, Joe. Yeah,
he really does. Bitcoin trading cards. I got involved because I thought it was a great project, and so I bought some. And now the whole back to my background, the whole eBay thing began because my husband was a comic book and card collector as a kid, and then he was actually a comic book and card dealer in the 80s and 90s.
Okay.
And yeah, he's way, way, way older than me. So I trying to give away my age here. So it was his experience. Now. I'm absolutely 35. You guessed it.
You're 35. Not a day over it.
Nope. Not a day. Actually, I'm 34.
34. Okay.
Anyway, let's go with 34 forever. So he was a comic book and card collector. He knows his stuff. He's still got his comic books from when he was a kid. He's got like a Spider-Man 20, and it would be worth a fortune if he hadn't, like, he read this thing. You could see where he thumbed through it over and over and over again. And this was what he loved. Mm-hmm. So the Bitcoin trading cards, they come out, and I'm like, well, interesting. So I buy some, and they're like $21 a pack, which is kind of a lot for a pack of cards. However, they're a very small run, and like Pokemon cards are printed in the millions. Mm-hmm. They're in the first series of Bitcoin trading cards. It was, I want to say, 21,000 packs.
Which total. Makes sense because like the 21 million.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So the 21. So yeah, and I can get more into that, but like the 21 card out of any of the cards is the card that has the most value. So getting into the trading cards in the first series, there were 4 cards that were special. Okay. And that meant there were only 100 of them made for the series, 4 of them. One was Hal Finney. One is Adam Meister. One is the Cyberpunks. And then the 4th is a Tone Vase. So there's only 100 of each of these cards. In my first case that I bought, I got a Hal Finney, which I still have and I will hold for a long time. There's only 100 of them, and it will be valuable in this series. The Tone Vase card is also really valuable because even though like 100 of them were made, only maybe half of them have come up, like have been opened and found. So like they're really scarce. There's a scarcity thing going on here. Each one of these cards also has, so like those are the special cards. Those are 4 people that were important to Aladdin. Aladdin is who created this. These were the 4 people that were like important to his journey. And so they were the special cards. But then there's the FOMO card. There are currency cards. Like every single card explains Bitcoin in a very simple, easy to understand way. And I mean, they're the ultimate orange pilling tool. So I started to collect them because I wanted to support Aladdin. I loved what he was doing. And I thought, this is genius. This is a great way for everybody to be able to share and trade and, get to know everybody and learn. So, okay, let's see, where was I going with this? I've already lost my train of thought. So I got into it, and that's been a joy. So now there's been a series 2. There's been a whale pack. So so many cool things that have happened with this series. And you can, the website is btc-tc.com. So btc-tradingcardstc.com. Check it out.
Has there been a Pepe pack yet?
No. I mean, there might be. The second series is called Fudbusters. So a lot of the cards had to do with the FUD that surrounds Bitcoin.
Oh, that's cool.
And, we'll explain the FUD, and then, here's the FUD phrase, and then, but here's what really is going on. So it's just a great, it's really high quality. Like Aladdin has gone to, so the second series was actually printed by the Pokemon people. He actually got the big printer to do it, even though this is a small run. So they're not cheap, and then like Bitcoin, Pacific Bitcoin was the first one to get a special pack, like meaning a pack that was just about Pacific Bitcoin last year.
Mm-hmm.
They put those in all the goodie bags, and now an unopened pack of those is worth between $500 and $700.
No shit. Really?
Yep.
Nice.
So, and what we're finding out is that a lot of people just tossed them or opened them. Gary Leland gave them to his grandkids. And, but like if you have one, it was the first special pack and there just weren't that many made. So you can make a deal. So right now, we've got this bear market, which kind of sucks, but everybody is still trading and talking. And then I also found there is an entire world of collecting in Bitcoin. There are guys that have been in Bitcoin since like 2011. They're collecting. They want to find the newspaper with the headline from the Genesis block. You know what I'm talking about. I can never say it. Chancellor's on the brink. You know that phrase.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was from a newspaper in January of 2009. Only like 8 or 9 of them have been found. Guess how much people are willing to pay for one of these? Just guess.
$1,500.
More.
What? For a newspaper?
Add some zeros. Add more zeros.
15,000?
400 grand.
Fucking what?
400 grand. That's right.
For a newspaper article?
For the newspaper that has that headline on the front page that was in the Genesis block from that date, which was January 3rd, 2009. It was a Saturday newspaper, so there was no reason to hang on to it. It wasn't like a special occasion. Everybody's got the day John F. Kennedy was killed or 9/11. People have those newspapers, but this newspaper, there's no reason to hold on to it. So it's rare.
Yeah.
So there are guys looking for those. Have you heard of Cassacious coins?
I have not.
All right. So these are early, like 2011, 2012. There was a guy and his last name was Cassacious, and he made these coins, and then they have the etched, seed phrase on them.
Okay.
If you have one of the first, he was giving them out. I mean, like Bitcoin was worth nothing. So some of them would have 5 Bitcoins on them. Some would have 1. Well, the very first one, they spelled his last name wrong. So it's Cassacious, but it's spelled wrong. Tone actually has one of these. Like these are incredibly rare and people are willing to pay big bucks for them. So there's a whole world of collecting under the collecting Bitcoin of all things. So I find that to be really interesting because I always thought my antique dealers, the people that I manage at like my shows, I always thought these guys are going to get into Bitcoin. I didn't see it the other way around, that the Bitcoiners were collectors and would probably be into, anything like collectible like this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been an interesting learning experience. Oh, there I am with with my CEOs.
Yep.
Joe, we
Okay.
got to go through some old garbage cans or something. We're missing out.
Honestly.
Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, as for what I do for a living, because I need to make a certain amount to make it worth my while, I go right into people's houses. I don't buy from a shop. I run ads and I'm like, hey, I'm buying old stuff. Got anything? Call me.
Yeah.
So people call me. Most people are afraid to do that. I am not, which is why I do well. I would do the same thing with this newspaper.
Yeah.
So if I went to the UK, I'd be getting into people's houses. That's just me.
It's got to be one sitting somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, you know there is. Listen, in Chicago, I walk into people's houses and they're hoarding newspapers from 1980.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't think that there's one around from 2009, well, there is. So it just depends. Like I know for a fact because I tried it. Like if there was a copy in a library, it's gone.
What if I told you I got one and it's signed by Satoshi?
It's worth a fortune, and you would be getting paid today. And because I know the person who would pay you for it.
What if I told you he signed it in 2006?
Then I would be like, who is it? And you'd have to prove that it's really Satoshi.
Anyways.
No, if they signed it in 2006, that means it was a fake because Bitcoin wasn't made till 2009.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. And then there would be no newspaper signed at that point.
Then I'm a scammer. I'm a crap coiner. I knew it.
All right. Orange Pill app.
Orange Pill.
So the Orange Pill app, I got involved because I was in Miami for a couple months before Bitcoin, 23, the big Miami conference. And I met Mateo. They were fundraising. I found out what it was. I really didn't get, I thought it was cute. I'm like, this is kind of cute. But I wasn't sure if this was going to be a thing or if it would work. And so I've been on it. And then one day, Mateo posts this leaderboard, like of who's got the most connections on the Orange Pill app. And I'm like, wait, where the hell am I? So I'm like number 18. I'm on page 2. And I'm like, I'm coming for y'all. I'm going to have the most connections of anyone on this app. And of course, I do now. So the joke was whoever had the most connections is the CEO. Well, I made that happen pretty quickly, and I've maintained my most connections. But here are the couple of interesting things about the Orange Pill app that I've learned. So there's 6,000 to 7,000 Bitcoiners have joined this app. You have to pay for it. It's not free. So there's no spam. They're real people. And I made it my mission to not just connect with people, but to talk to them too and see how they were, what's going on, where they're from. And what I found was my connections kind of just sitting there waiting to figure out what to do next. And I went, oh my God, this is interesting. Like most of them were not on Twitter. And
this is true. When I signed up for it, I think you were one of the first people to message me. I didn't really know what it was, but I just signed up for a lifetime thing. And then you got a hold of me and I was like, oh, this is a real thing.
Well, and that's when I started to figure out that so many people were sitting there and kind of just didn't know what to do with it. And I think the whole point of the app is local meetups. So it's being able to, you can set it so that you can see people around you within a certain radius and, try to connect with people who are local. So I learned that like, if you're in New Zealand, maybe you don't have anybody right near you. And then like I ended up talking to like 6 people from New Zealand. And I'm like, okay, you need to talk to them. You need to talk to them. You need to talk to them. I started to tell them, well, follow me on Twitter, because they're like, well, who do I follow? What do I do? And, how do I learn more? So I just started to try to guide them in the right direction if they needed something, or like somebody had asked me, I don't even know where to start. Like, where do I look? And I'm like, go to Simply Bitcoin. Simply Bitcoin, the news is good. It's definitely something everyone can understand what they talk about. And I'm like, it's a good place to start. And so he did. And then he came back to me and said, oh, that was great. So it's like I have I now have these ongoing conversations with a ton of people that are absolutely new and are not on Bitcoin Twitter, right? There's a lot of Bitcoiners apparently that don't exist on Bitcoin Twitter. So what do we do with them? It's true. And so that's why I gave him my Twitter handle, and I'm like, give me yours. I'll follow you back. And, if you're having trouble following, let me know. I'll try to help.
Well, that's awesome.
So literally this app has people from all over the world. And then every time there's a conference now, Mateo has been, it's been being used for the conference. There's events on it. And the events are all sorted. So like if you guys are on there, you can look at the events and they're going to show you the ones that are closest to you, like by time and distance. And you can, it's like a perfect way to set something up.
Yeah, there's actually a bunch of events around me. They do like a Top Golf one. They do a Magic the Gathering meetup. I actually saw they play like Magic the Gatherings on Saturdays. Oh. Yeah. There's
fun.
Obviously Texas is famous for barbecue, so there's a bunch of barbecue ones. Like I haven't had.
Well, BitBlock Boom has a meetup in Dallas.
I'm sorry.
In case you weren't aware. BitBlock Boom, Gary Leland, he has a meetup in Dallas.
Oh, I had no idea. I'll have to check it out.
So check that out.
Yeah, definitely. Now, have you noticed?
Oh, so then, go ahead.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay, so then Gary Leland, who is as competitive as I am, if not more so, he sees me climbing the leaderboard and he decides to chase me. Well, little does Gary know, he's never going to beat me. This is the truth. But so I made him the honorary co-CEO. And then we made little fun memes like where we kick Mateo in the butt and we take over. So it's just been kind of funny.
That's pretty cool. I can't wait to see the next bull run. So you said there's 7,000. I think the next bull run should bring in a bunch of people, and then the app will really be booming.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm closest to, I found, so there's a Minneapolis Bitcoiner meetups with Brandon Quittem. I found that on there, and that's been really cool.
Who the hell did I meet from Minneapolis this week? I met somebody. It'll come to me.
Brandon Quittem, he's from Minneapolis. And
wait a minute.
Dr. Mark
Brandon
Quittem. He's the Bitcoin species guy.
No, I know it was somebody else, and I went, "Oh, I've been there." That's the home of Target.
Yeah,
and Native American stone tools. If you like to hunt and gather things, Native American stone tools there are pretty good. I found one right downtown. Crazy. Anyway.
Really?
So, yeah, I did. And I got into, I like to hunt for things. And then like, it keeps me busy. I like to hunt for things outside. I like to hunt for arrowheads, stuff like that. And just have to be busy while I'm trying to get some exercise.
Yeah. Now, have you noticed that the Orange Pill app is, what's your favorite thing about it? Is it that how it brings the community together, or how it's an educational tool, or all of the above? Like what do you see the Orange Pill app doing in the next 5 years to help the space?
I think it's going, so what I find most interesting about it right now is that there are so many people who just don't know what to do. They do not know who to listen to. They don't know where to go. And that's the biggest thing. And I Gary and I are really the only people talking to them. You know, I'm connecting with people and saying, hey, I'm Mel and I'm connecting with fellow Bitcoiners. I've had people say,
one of the first people
where do you live? Yeah. And I do this, you know, every couple of days I go through and see who's new. And again, just try to be there. You know, some people know what they're doing and they've been a part of it, but they're just looking for a community.
This is why we need more women in the space. Women are really, really good at this, and men are like really, really bad at it, I think.
Well, I've noticed that, like, sorry, Mel, go ahead.
Well, it's common sense almost. I mean, I knew when I started to really understand the space that my contribution is something like this, or running Unconfiscatable, or, you know, being able to be that person that can handle, you know, people firing questions at them. And I know that, like, the people who are developing these things, you know, just because you're a founder does not mean you are a salesman.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I can't promote, and again, like, I don't get anything out of doing this for the Orange Pill app. But what I get out of it is being able to help brand new Bitcoiners who don't know what to do and help them find their way quicker than I did.
I feel like that's probably more rewarding for you than anything else, though, right? Like, because I know we've had the show for, I think this is our 26th episode, something like that. We haven't been around that long, right? But we have had people reach out and be like, hey, because of you, you know, like, I'm going to stay in Bitcoin, right? Or like, I'm going to hold on just a little bit longer. I was about to give up, but, you know, like, and then we have people that we have sent our episodes to, like family members and friends who have gotten into Bitcoin because, you know, and by larger the digital asset space in general, because, you know, of the information that we're putting out. And we're just a small piece show, you know, like we're nobodies, and we accept that. But there's a lot of people who are trying to put out information in the space that are trying to do things really well. And then there's people, I won't name names, who are just trying to, you know, rug pull everyone and get their money, right? Like, and I feel like the Orange Pill app is kind of combating that negative narrative, right? Because it is such a good community tool, right? Like, I've noticed that when I get on that space, or when I'm on there and talking to people, they really are genuine and they are trying to learn. And we actually put, and I don't know if Beardy did it, I think he did, but we actually are in mine. I have a couple of the episodes that we've done, like with Saz Mining, with Brian DeMint. You know, we did an episode with him. And so we, you know, have those in our bios just to, like, hey, just, this is what we are. This is what we're doing.
Jason Meyer.
Love for you guys just to try and watch the episode and learn something, right? Like,
that's awesome. I mean, you're doing something. Big, small, you're doing something. This is a really small space in the scheme of things.
Yeah.
And really you guys have skills. You have skills to get the word out.
Yeah. And the Jason Meyer one was big for Grindr because all the progressive case, his family.
Who's Jason? I don't know who that is.
He wrote the progressive case for Bitcoin.
Yeah, he wrote a book, The Progressive Case.
Oh, wait.
Go ahead.
I'll have to check it out. I'm not sure.
I'll send you the link to the episode later we did with him. He is a school teacher who got into Bitcoin and is currently taking a year off, like a sabbatical, I think it's what it's called. And he's going around and doing his book tour. And I haven't had a chance to read his book yet. Grind did. And I think Beardy is on page 11 now. He's been reading it for about 6 months. So we're very proud that he's gotten
it. I highlighted it in crayon. Yeah. But
well done.
Yeah, he's taken the year off, and he was on Peter McCormick's podcast, and Peter McCormick actually wrote the foreword to his book and what the book's doing, because Bitcoin, I don't know why it's neutral, but more freedom and conservative minded people have been picking up on it. So Jason wrote the book and is saying, hey, whoa, you know, this is actually good for the environment. He took all the liberal ideals and is saying, hey guys, you're missing out on this. So
I do believe that now too. I've been watching the mining space. I've been getting really into that. I'm kind of obsessed with the mining world. And I've learned a little bit about that myself. And I think that's interesting.
We actually had we had Ken Halliburton on, and I wanted to just do a quick shout out to Ken. He just had his second child with his wife, so we want to wish Kent and his family, a quick recovery for his wife, and hope that everything is great with the baby.
Special side note,
congratulations.
I bought 2 rigs with them, and October 14th is today, which means my rigs are going live in Paraguay.
Is this sales mining?
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I want to do this.
Yeah,
so
I'll hook you up with Kent if you'd like.
Yes, I would love that.
Hey,
so let me tell you a quick story.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
As the antique dealer that I am, in 2016, I bought a painting, and it's the most I've ever paid for a painting. It was $2,700 for one painting. It's about this big. And in 2018, and this artist is, the painting is from 1957. The artist is long gone, but her stuff has taken off. And I have a painting in an auction that is going to sell in December, and the auction estimate is $60,000 to $80,000.
Holy hell!
Wow,
good for you.
Okay, so this is the biggest thing I've ever sold in my life, and
that's a lot of Bitcoin money.
If all goes well, I want to buy 3 of these machines to send to Paraguay.
Yeah, I'll send you. I'll send us all, or I'll set you guys up in a group chat message later, and we'll get you guys hooked up. Yeah,
and I'm actually I have an affiliate link. We can both get I think
cool.
$50 worth of free corn. And speaking of which,
brilliant.
You introduced me to. I don't know if you saw our links, Joe. I get free sats every day just for like walking, and there's like different links, and push a button, you can spin Satoshi's wheel. It's not much, but sats.
Go to my profile right now, and it's right pinned at the top. That's my free sats guide. And Joe, I'm a little bent about this, but Lolly, if you used them, I was getting 2% back on all my Costco purchases. I'm a big Costco person. And I think they've killed it. So I'm very upset about that. I was making a shit ton of sats thanks to Costco.
I wish I knew how to play chess, because if I could figure out those puzzles, I could get sats, but I'm too dumb to play the chess one. So I just spin Satoshi's wheel and walk.
Yeah. I'm with you. I do know how to play, but I suck. Like, I get how to move the stuff around, but I'm just strategy-wise terrible.
I want those 2 sats, though.
I get it. I'm with you. I love those 2 sats. And then, but I will say, Lolly has the treasure chest that you can hit every day, which I haven't done yet today.
What's that one? Lolly?
And then, Lolly. Yeah, it's got like a treasure chest.
Have to get that one as well.
Yes, so the Lolly treasure chest, ta-da, what did I just get? 30 sats today. Thank you.
To me, that this is fun, instead of like people do the dumb apps where you crush the candy and you don't actually get anything. They press it every day. It's like,
right.
Why not just press and get some sats?
Yeah, so like I play, do you guys know Thunder Games? So I think I've got Thunder Games in here too. But same thing, like if you're going to play Candy Crush, well, you may as well win some sats.
Yeah.
And so like I play, they have like a Tetris, they have Solitaire, and you win sats. It's pretty awesome. And then when you go through like Walmart, you get 2% back at Walmart. So being in Illinois, where like there is no one place for your like one-stop shopping, we have to hit Costco, we have to hit Jewel, we have to hit Target. Like if you want to get the best price on stuff in Illinois, you've got to go to different stores. So like you can hook up your debit cards to, you can't see that, to Lolly, and then it automatically gives you your sats back. So like my daughter, she's at college, And she likes to go to CVS all the time, and I've got her debit card hooked up to here. So every time she goes to CVS, I get sats.
That's awesome.
It's beautiful.
Oh, we're closing in an hour here, and we haven't talked about yellow yet. We got to. What is?
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah. I'm very curious about yellow.
Right. So do you guys know about the meme factory?
A little bit.
Do you know like Greg, Big Sean?
Yep.
Okay. Yellow came from them somewhere. So Yellow is a Greek man who supposedly lives in Greece, and he is so go to his profile is ICO offender, I think.
ICO offender.
He is yep. And he's hilarious. He's represented by this cartoon. So let's see. Yeah, it's all one word. Oh, wait a minute. No.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Yeah. There he is. So he is represented by this yellow cartoon character. But he is a Greek man who speaks. I worked in Greek restaurants when I was 14, starting when I was 14. I know old Greek men. So the minute I started to listen to this, I was just cracking up. So what happened was he made a commitment right when we were like at 60K to do Don't Stop Believing Twitter Spaces every day till we hit 100,000. Well, as you both know, we have not yet hit 100,000. So every day around 4:30 p.m., he records Don't Stop Believing Twitter Spaces. He plays the song Don't Stop Believing 3 times. 2 times the regular version, and the last one is the live version. In between the songs is commentary. And he does things that make me laugh, like he goes like this. Hello, I'm in the Bitcoin helicopter, Bitcoin Twitter helicopter. There's fighting over here. There's some fighting over here. Oh, someone's fighting over here. It just makes me laugh. It's so dumb, but so funny. So someone decides to make a stuffed animal out of him. Well, I gotta have it because I'm a psycho like that, and I need this stuffed animal.
You collect things, yeah.
Yes, but I also started to take him to conferences. So like I take him to BitBlock Boom. I put him in my backpack, his head's sticking out of it, thinking everyone thinks I'm bananas, but I don't care. When I got to Pacific, I did the same thing, and then it hit me. I'm like, I'm going to start getting people to do some videos with him. So if you go to my profile,
Peter McCormick was kind of rude to him, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Now, Peter was a good sport. I asked him to do it. I asked him to just be a dick. I'm like, just be a jerk to me. Tell me to fuck off and die. And so he did.
Talk to his agent.
Talk to his agent. But then the hilarious thing is if you look in the comments of that post, Yellow overdubbed it back at him. I'm going to get you, Peter McCormick. I am not a fan of yours. I am not a fan. And oh my God, I was dying.
Yo, Brett.
Like, this is hysterical. Then I got, I got Greg Foss, who is an incredibly nice guy. I don't know. I'd never met him in person. What a sweetheart. Like, I always kind of thought he was hard and kind of hardcore. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then Larry.
We're trying to get those.
Larry Lepard. So Lepard, this man, he just pulls it out. I'm like, all right, do you guys mind talking to Yellow? Just like pretend you were out with him last night and that he was a maniac and you've got something to say about it. So I sit them up on the stage in between like speakers, and Larry Lepard like literally looks at him and says, "What the hell are you thinking? You know, you make Greg cry. You're out with the ladies last night. You're out of control." Like, and I am going, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, these people just jumped in and made it a thing. Lynn Alden talked to him. I'm just like, this is hilarious. Then so the one thing that Yellow did ask for was he asked me to go to BTC sessions and do something with him. So I did it, and then I didn't get the recording. It just didn't turn out. And so the very last day I was there, he was doing a cold card workshop, and Surfer Jim and I went. I didn't take the class, but he did. So when they were done, I asked Ben, I'm like, let's do this with Yellow. So I lay him on the couch, like BTC sessions is giving him some therapy. And we just left space for Yellow to just fill in, like his own voice. Funniest thing I've ever seen. Like, it just blows my mind how creative that Bitcoiners are. Like, Bitcoiners are creative. They're artists. They're funny. They're so many things. And this stupid Yellow doll brings out the best in all of them. Even Peter McCormick.
I think that Bitcoiners are the type of people who look outside the box, and were the kids like me who got kicked out of class because they couldn't sit still, and just wanted to be outside because they couldn't stand to sit there and like have forced garbage shoved down their throat, from an education system of stuff that is absolutely useless to real life. Like, I've never used the fucking Pythagorean theorem in my life, but I've had to balance a checkbook, or I've had to do taxes. We didn't learn that in school, but they're teaching us about this pointless stuff. And I remember as a kid being like, this is so fucking stupid. Why can't I just go to my dad with my dad to work every day, because he owned his own construction company, and learn how to run a business? Like, why am I sitting here wasting my fucking life?
Today, that makes all kinds of sense. But then you couldn't do it.
No. But the bit, like, to your point, Bitcoiners are the people who think outside the box, and were the colored outside the crayons, or with crayons outside the lines, just because someone told them they're supposed to say inside the lines, and they're like, well, you can tell me that, but now I'm going to do the exact opposite just because you told me to do that.
Well, I mean, if you don't think that I don't know that we're all on this, we're pretty much all on the spectrum somewhere.
Oh my God, we all have a dose of the tism. I swear to God, every single one of us has got the tism.
Well, I was a diagnosed ADHD child but when I was a kid, they had no help for this. They wanted to put me in special ed. That was the way you solved that. And my dad was a teacher, and he wouldn't let them.
Without getting too much into my own personal background, I was basically illiterate until the 6th grade. And they put me in the special ed class instead. I was a high functioning retard. And my dad's like, no, he's actually really smart. He just doesn't care what you people tell him or say, because he has no respect for you. Like, I was 12 years old, and my dad just straight up told them, these people, this, like, you're not teaching him in a way he understands, so he's just not going to listen to you.
Right. That's exactly. I taught myself to read when I was 3. They would never put me in the highest reading group because I wouldn't do the paperwork. It was like, I understood it already. I'm like, so why am I doing this? Like, I would do all the math problems at the top and be like, well, I already get it. So why am I doing more of this? And so I would fail. And the teachers just didn't care. In the 5th grade, that teacher finally said to my parents, do you see what she's doing? Like, do you guys see this? Like, she is not dumb. She just doesn't learn the way everybody else does. And I'm like, thank you. So she was like the only teacher that actually gave a shit and said something.
Yeah, I think Bitcoin will transform education as well, because there's so many different learning styles.
Well, Beardy, do you want to talk about your BSTEM thing with Mel and the orange pill, and how that can potentially tie in together?
I did meet. Who did I meet there from BSTEM? Yeah. Was that you? That wasn't. Was it?
Zach was out there.
Okay, I did meet him.
Yep, he's based in Virginia, but yeah, they do after school enrichment programs with.
I loved what he was telling me. I thought it was so smart not to use Bitcoin.
Different way of learning, like they do electronics with Minecraft Redstone, comic book illustration, fashion design, all these different classes. Keeps the kids busy, and
I love it.
Just
and
different
Darity,
ways.
you have what? You're starting 2 of those franchises, right?
Yeah. Well, it's all in the beginning phases. It's just, but you can buy the rights to, wherever you live. But
Okay. So
I love what he's doing. I think it's smart. I would love to see it take off. And yeah, if you need help or you're looking for funding or anything like that, let me know. Maybe I can hook you up with some people.
That's another cool thing about this community is everyone wants everyone to succeed. I have yet to see anyone in this space who was like maliciously going after, and I'm sure it does happen or has happened in the past, but
it does. It's few and far in between, but I've seen it.
Yeah,
it's something to be careful of.
There's always those shiesty individuals, right, who are going to look out for themselves.
They may not seem that shiesty, but they're definitely out for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, Mel, can you have Yellow ask Mr. Foss and Lepard to come on the pod sometime? We've been working on them for a bit. We want to talk to those boys, but
I might be able to help you with that because I think Larry kind of likes me now.
Larry, hey, if you're in with Larry, then you're good.
I was impressed. I was so impressed with him. I'm just like, you have a personality and you're funny. Yeah, when these finance guys, they're just so dry usually, and so he was just so funny to me. I was really impressed.
Pacific Bitcoin?
Yes, both of them were. And like Greg Foss, like I said, he just seems like a softie to me. Like I really thought like he was kind of a hardcore guy, like I don't know.
I actually
really sweeter.
I really want to meet Greg Foss just to give him a hug because he seems like he's like this big badass on the internet, but you can tell like when you meet him, he's like probably the guy that like walks up and talks to puppies before he talks to their owners. Like, you're such a cute little doggo. Like, I love you so much. I don't know. No offense.
That might be him. I mean, like I said, I wish I'd gotten to know him better. That was the first time I'd ever met him. I ended up talking to Larry later, but I never really did get to talk to Greg again. But I did notice that he has a soft side and he's not like that hardcore dude that you see all the time,
And I think that's a lot of the Bitcoiners in this space, like they are very serious when it comes to certain things, Bitcoin, whatever their goals are, but they still love the community. And you can tell that they are genuinely passionate about it and want everyone to succeed in the space,
Yeah. Well, you know who I met that I really enjoyed? Peter.
McCormick?
Peter. Nope. Dunworth.
I'm not familiar.
Peter Dunworth.
Peter Schiff.
If you saw it, no Peter Schiff. Dunworth. He's a large bald fellow from Australia. He's also been on McCormick and just recently. And so and he works with oh God, what's his name? Luke
Broyles. Well, we had him on.
Yes, that's it. They work together. Anyway, what a smart guy. Like just very interesting conversations. We were talking about Bitcoin companies and like this could work, this couldn't work. And it was just interesting. People have such interesting perspectives. And he came all the way from Sydney, Australia.
He came from Sydney all the way to California for that conference.
Yes, he did.
Wow,
yes,
that's
he did.
cool.
Dedication.
That's some serious dedication to the space.
So and so, like one night, I had dinner with him, Surfer Jim, BTC is the Revolution, and me. And it was like Surfer Jim and I have known each other for a long time, but I didn't know anyone else, and so it was just great getting to meet some people. And just again, hearing different perspectives.
Now, I did have a question for you, and I know that you had talked, or we had like tried to set you guys up. Did you ever hang out with Shamari and at the conference?
I did see them. I did talk to them. I did buy myself a little pin. They were a very cute family.
Yes. Oh my God.
Adorable.
We love them so much.
They were absolutely adorable. And so I did say hi and stopped over, and I believe they're going to send us. Yes, I bought that guy, the purple dude.
Yeah. Yeah. We love them so much. They're such an amazing family. Like,
ooh, as a matter of fact, I think he needs a little Pios hat. Do you guys know about Pios? Go Pios.
I do not.
Have you seen people wearing the coonskin caps with the Bitcoin on them?
Once or twice, and I wondered what that was, but I just assumed it was some redneck guy into Bitcoin, to be completely honest with you.
Well, here's what it is. I still not quite exactly sure where it came from, but I'm going to say it's yellow. Somebody adopted this Class D football team, college football team. And every Saturday, there's a Twitter Spaces in which we now all watch the game. Next week and go to the game, of all things. And because of their being the pioneers, somebody came up with a logo. I have a sweatshirt now. My yellow is wearing a coonskin cap with a Bitcoin on the front of it. But everyone is so bored. So someone just comes up with this and it's like, all right, let's support this random small college football team. Today's homecoming, by the way. The coach knows us now. The players know us. Someone sold something and donated it to the team. And then, like I said, next week is going to be a real field trip to the game. And I guess they have tailgating like crazy.
Oh, shit. That'll be really fun.
How funny is that?
That's pretty cool.
I asked somebody, I'm like, what's the point of this? Where did this come from? Everyone's like, I don't know. I'm like, all right, I'm in. I don't care. It's time to, I just like doing something different with Bitcoiners, and someone narrates the game and it's really good. It's a good, clean, fun thing for Bitcoiners to do when we're just all so bored and everyone's bitching about everything.
Yeah.
Go Pios.
All right.
Do you have the Bitcoin board game from about one of those?
I do have.
And then they
I have a Bitcoin board game.
Yep. And they had a special.
Oh, the Shamory guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
So wait. Okay, I did an interview with Tally. Do you know who that is? Tally. They created the Hodl Up game.
Hodl Up. That's what I bought. Yeah, that's what I got.
Oh, awesome!
But then there was
I bought one from
one too.
Yes, that's what I got. I haven't opened it yet, but this is what I'm going to do to my children at Christmas. Is I'm going to make them play this because she has 4 kids. They're older. They're all teenage and up. And this was how she orange pilled them.
Yep. I think they're only making 500 of those too. Wow.
Yeah, mine is a matter of fact. Here, let me see. Mine is a different shaped box than they had. Let's see.
She's gone.
Hold on, I'll be back. Let's see. Mine looks like this.
Well, yours is way cooler than mine.
So she had told me that they made these and had to source all the parts and all this stuff. I mean, it was a really big deal. And she's like, we're almost out of them. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I better get one. Yeah. So I did. So I'm saving it though to play with my kids at Christmas.
Everything was handcrafted and so well done, and they had handwritten notes in there.
And that's the thing, about the Bitcoin trading cards, about Shamory, about Bitcoin panties for Bitcoin. Do you guys know about those?
Yeah, Joe's wearing some right now.
Yeah, I am too. They're the best underwear I've ever had. So it's kind of this funny thing where everyone who gets Bitcoin and gets the quality of Bitcoin is doing quality things.
Yeah.
To complement.
Well, actually, I'm going to plug another person who is in our kind of network that we enjoy, but Brian, he did the at the Pacific Orange. They had Ben Askren come out, and I know a lot of people aren't fans of.
I know Brian.
Okay, so Ben Askren, this guy right here, is an Olympic athlete. He actually went to the Olympics for America in freestyle Greco-Roman wrestling, I believe. Or no, those are two different things. He went for freestyle wrestling or he went for Greco-Roman. I can't remember the difference. I don't care enough, to be honest with you. I hate wrestlers because they are good at taking takedowns, and I pull guard just because I don't want to get thrown on my head by some wrestler because, goddamn, they're just a different breed of psychos. But he actually was in the UFC. He was a Bellator, or not Bellator, but one MMA, whatever weight class he was in. He was a champion. He is one of the pound for pound best wrestlers on the planet. And he's now into jiu-jitsu. He has his own wrestling academy that is producing people that are going to go on to the Olympics, like DC. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's the commentator for the UFC, former light heavyweight and heavyweight champion of the UFC, also an Olympic athlete. They were on the same wrestling squad together. But you guys had Ben out to do that jiu-jitsu thing. And that was just, it's such an amazing thing that the Bitcoin community, it expands into so much. And it's kind of weird that like the jiu-jitsu community, which is, not a very large community. It's getting bigger every day, but there's very few like people out there who are doing stuff like this. And I just thought that was super cool. And also our boy Brian is a black belt under Checkmat, who is one of the greatest jiu-jitsu gyms. They're a franchise, but last time I looked, Brian DeMint. Yeah, he's actually with Orange Pill.
I had no idea. Yeah, I know him. I didn't know that though.
Yeah, Brian.
I met him in person for the first time at Pacific. I didn't know he did that. That's amazing.
Yeah, Brian is a phenomenal human. We had him on and we did an episode with him, and I'd love to have him back on just because my jiu-jitsu autism and him, like I pulled up a bunch of quotes from jiu-jitsu, from famous jiu-jitsu practitioners that I thought applied to Bitcoin, and it just kind of fit. And he's like, everything about this just fits. Like all of these quotes, you can interlink them with jiu-jitsu and with Bitcoin. So
Yellow would be good at jiu-jitsu.
I would think.
Yeah, he definitely would.
I would absolutely think so.
So,
do you listen to Lex Friedman? Because isn't he a
Lex is so Lex is into jiu-jitsu. I don't know if he's a black belt or not. I know he's a very skilled practitioner. He was recently training with I'm sure you're not familiar with him, but John Danaher, who is the greatest MMA / jiu-jitsu coach in history. He is do you know who George St. Pierre is?
No.
He's a MMA fighter, one of the greatest welterweight champions of all time, considered to be one of the greatest MMA champions of all time. He held a record that I think just recently got broken for most consecutive title defenses. I think that's only beaten by Anderson Silva and maybe John Jones.
And myself.
And Beardy. Yep, and Beardy. Don't forget that.
Do you know my husband periodically bets on MMA fights, and he usually wins. So he does know quite a bit about this.
So he would probably know who George is, obviously.
GSP, yeah.
Yep, GSP. But Lex was recently training with John Danaher, Gordon Ryan, and then who is one of his students, and they were with Elon Musk getting Elon ready to fight Zuck if that ever happens. And if that ever does happen, and Elon bets, or Elon is grappling and training with John Danaher, I will encourage you to take whatever money you have and put it on John, because he is going, or on Elon, because he is going to beat the shit out of them if he's got John Danaher as his coach.
Well, I can say right now, that would be my first bet, unless we found out that Zuck was doing something sneaky on the side, which is very possible when you think about him.
Me and Joe are going to be on the undercard.
We are, actually.
What's that?
The pre-fight.
Pre-fight.
Me and Joe fight before the main event.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
We're not really. He's being sarcastic.
I just made it up. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you can't joke with me on this one because I'm not sure.
Yeah. They well, have you seen George from Cryptos R Us is doing that influencer fight league thing? Have you seen that?
No.
So
Cryptos R Us?
Yeah.
I met that dude a long time ago in Chicago.
Oh, really?
Yep. I don't know anything about him other than that.
Yeah, so he does that show, and he's trying to do an influencer fight league with karate MMA or whatever. They do their own, like it's a version of the UFC or something like that. But apparently, they're gonna have like Bit Boy on, and he's gonna fight someone.
Oh,
it's a whole shit show, and I don't really know how I feel about it, but
so it's more like a soap opera.
Screw this Bit Boy. This has to be a game. It can't be real. Is it?
It's a soap opera.
Bit Boy
is
for sure a narcissistic egomaniac who will do anything to keep himself in the limelight and to keep attention. And if anyone wants to send him this, I will gladly, if his opponent backs out, I will gladly fight him.
I'll train you, Joe. I'll train you.
Yeah, I was gonna do like a skit with Yellow and like have him be in my car and then be like,
you're not in the same weight class though, Joe.
Like in my boyfriend kind of a thing, and be like when he got pulled over by the cops, Crypto or what's his name, Bit Boy.
Yeah, when he decided.
I wanted to do something with Yellow on that. I wanted to kind of reenact that with Yellow as my boyfriend.
That would be funny.
Joe, if you don't mind going. If you don't mind going up a weight class, I'll train you for the Bit Boy.
I won't even have to go up a weight class. I will smoke him.
Oh my God, screw Bit Boy. We got to get rid of this dude. He does not deserve this attention.
No, he doesn't. And I will say there's a lot of people, and this is the stigma that is hurting our industry, right? And crypto in general, not just Bitcoin, right? But like all of the digital asset space is hurt because of like stupid shit like BitBoy and whoever else are out there shilling the, shit coins that are forcing people out, right? Because like if you just find him, I think Beardy, I think you're the one who told us this, but like there's so many people who get into the space and they just like it's the allure of the easy money from guys like BitBoy, right? And then whoever that dude was from Hex, whatever that turd's name is.
Oh my God, Richard Hart.
Richard Fart, I call him. Richard Fart.
That turd.
Well, when I came in at the end of 2020, so if you just go to YouTube and he's got the biggest channel, that's where they send you to, unfortunately.
Yeah, and he had, there's so many people who got forced out of the space due to people like BitBoy and whoever else. If I could think of another one, I would throw shade at them. I'd throw shade at them too. I'm not just picking exclusively on him.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. I know there's more than just him.
Yeah,
he just happens to be the flavor of the month right now.
Yeah, so there's all these quote unquote influencers, right? And I say that and I hate that we kind of fall into that realm, I guess, like as crypto quote unquote influencers, because we're, in the space and we're trying to promote it. But there's people who just are looking out for themselves who are shiesty, and BitBoy is one of those people. I mean, how many times has he rug pulled money from people on coins that he said were going to be great and he was investing in and guaranteed to go up? Like, why the fuck isn't Gary going after him, right? Like, why are you going after Bitcoin ETFs and stuff like that?
Yeah, really. Yeah, really. That is it.
Yeah, there's people like BitBoy who are guaranteeing things that are going to go up, and this is a guaranteed money maker for some bullshit project with no project of any kind of usability or reliability or anything, right? And how many people have been out of the market because they threw in, $500 expecting to become, to be 20,000.
500.
Joe,
hell, if 500 was all it was, they wouldn't be gone. I think there are people that have lost everything and things.
Oh no, there absolutely is. But I'm just
ugly.
You know, but like if you lose, even if you only lose $50, there's, you know, like if you're like, I just came in, this is the first time I'm doing it, and some guy, this Bit Boy guy, told me it's guaranteed to go up, and he drives a Lambo and all kinds of cool cars, so he's got to be right? And then
Joe,
they don't realize that he's the one who's rug pulling. Yes, Beardy, what's up?
Are you gonna tell me you did not invest in Bencoin?
I did not invest in Bitcoin.
And then he has the audacity that people were actually sending him money. And then,
oh my fucking God!
How about the
Don't
video?
even get me started on that.
You're gonna puke. You know, there's the video of him shaking hands with Alex Mashinsky. The whole thing.
Did you guys happen to catch that? Did you ever see the video with Tone?
I have not seen that video you're talking about.
What's that video?
Have you heard about it?
I haven't.
It's him. It's him calling out Mashinsky long before he went down.
You know what's funny is when I first got into the space, I first got into the space. I grew up with a very abusive mother, alcoholic mother, who was a narcissist and beat the shit out of me on a pretty consistent basis. I'm not asking for sympathy on that, but I know, but like the worst. My bullshit meter has always been very high, and like I've always been able to call people out like ahead of time if they're going to be shitbags or not. And I remember going on live streams and it's like Digital Asset News and Invest Answers. And I'm not throwing shade at those guys at all, because everyone got screwed over by the, SBF and Mashinsky, right? Like everyone believed it. But I was sitting there being like, guys, do not fucking leave your stuff on exchanges. Do not do this. Do not I understand you guys are thinking you're making money in the short term, but long term, this is not going to play out well. Do not trust these guys. And everyone was telling me I was a fudster and I was just a fucking asshole and I didn't know what I was talking about. And these guys were geniuses and they were going to save the space. And I'm like, they're going to rob you. At some point, you are going to lose everything. And then it happened.
So I'm going to really hope that no one in my family ever sees this, and they won't. But, okay, first of all, my mother is a giant narcissist as well. Secondly, my brother at the top of the market at like 60K tells me that him and his wife decided to put $10,000 into crypto. And I'm like, okay, listen, you're at the top of the market right now. This might not be the best idea. But then here's what he tells me. Kate's friend, who's a real estate agent, has a really big house. And he made money on Cardano. I'm like, okay. I said, so I've been studying this for years, right? But see, I don't have a really big house like this dude. So my brother actually chose to listen to him. Now, I told him Bitcoin, stick with Bitcoin. And then I'm like, okay, listen, if you are desperate to get into different coins, and he had ADA on his mind, like that was what he wanted. And he's like, well, I should diversify. I'm like, okay, fine. Then just make sure you have half and half, Bitcoin and ADA if you must. What did he do? 100%. Take a wild guess what he did. 100% Cardano. 100%. And he's never told me. My sister told me. I'm like, oh my God. But this is because he didn't listen to me, because I did not have the proof of house that he was looking for.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of people in the space go wrong, right? Like they want to look at who has the most materialistic items, and that's what they view as proof, right? Like you would never look at Rob from Digital Asset News if you met him on the street and think that he's a millionaire, right? Like dude drives a fucking I don't remember what he said. What is it, Beardy? Like a 2008 Dodge Caravan or something like that?
I think it's a 1997 Geo Metro.
Nice.
No, it's not.
Well, see, and like Tone, I don't know how much money Tone has, but I'm going to guess a fairly good amount. And you'd never know that from him either. Yeah. He would never buy a Lambo. He'll buy a used car, You know, he came from Russia. He grew up. He didn't move here until he was 11. I mean, like, he appreciates his life.
Yeah.
And doesn't need to, and you know, I always appreciate that about somebody. And that's the kind of person that I want to learn from. You know, not the person that squeals their tires and pulls up in their fucking Lambo.
Well, did you guys know I'm an EOS
or whatever? What's that?
I'm a EOS whale. You said you went all in on
you
beta.
are?
That's my running joke is like,
I got running joke. Yes.
A big bag of EOS, which is like, I don't even know what it is or what it,
do you remember who was that guy that created that?
I don't know, but
he's around anymore.
When I started
Dan Larimer.
When I started the meme, I was just looking for the coin like that nobody had heard about, and like this didn't do anything at all. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm a whale of EOS coin.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now there's like, I see people like, I don't even know where they're trading this shit. Like, I'm seeing things like I've never even heard of now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, you'll go on Pancake Swap or like Sushi Swap, and like, you know, there's the Harry Potter Obama coin. I you know, like, have you seen that one? There's a Harry Potter Barack Obama or Michelle Obama coin, or it's something fucking ridiculous. It's like the new Pepe or something like that. I don't know.
Oh boy.
Yeah, like,
okay, now can I just say that I don't hate Pepe. I really don't hate him. He's kind of cute.
Pepe to the moon.
And Pepe has been around a long time. Like, he was actually, let's see, I want to say that was minted on something else, which is a Bitcoin layer. So I do not absolutely hate Pepe. And I have some Pepe socks.
Well, this is the coin, though. They're trying to capitalize on his image.
Yeah, I just want some shoes. I don't want a coin.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
I would take some green Crocs and Pepe Crocs. I would do that.
Oh, that would be cute. And then you could get those little, what do you call those things? Giblets? What do you call those? Gibbets or whatever that you can put in them?
Yeah, something like that.
You need to make like Bitcoin ones.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could. I don't know.
That'd be good.
Did we hit all our questions, Joseph?
I think so. I did.
We talked on Unconfiscatable. Oh, let me tell you more about Unconfiscatable real quick.
Yes, please.
So, okay, we've got the poker tournament on Wednesday night. Thursday and Friday are speakers and all that jazz. We're going to get started later, like at 10. So because everybody's going to be in Vegas, you know how that goes. So we're going to go from like 10 to 5 with speakers and workshops and talks. But the goal is for us to kind of gather this year and just celebrate.
I will be there,
regardless of the price. If you're going to book your room, definitely book your room through that. Wait, what?
Mel, why am I not on one of those cards? I'm going.
I'm not even on one of those cards. So, no. Yeah,
I was going to say.
Those are all the speakers, but yeah, I need to be on one of those soon. Maybe I'll get one.
Beardy, you're right here, buddy. You're right there. You're already there.
I'm a little
jelly. You are. You're, in my mind, you are the Jack of Spades. You are.
Oh,
I am the Queen of Hearts. So, okay, but if you're going to go to this, the Joker's good. Definitely book your hotel room. We don't get anything for this, but if you book your hotel room through that link, you're going to get the absolute best price, and it's refundable. So, like right now, the Wednesday night's like $29. It is literally the cheapest hotel room you're going to get of any conference this year. It like averages out to like $150 a night, including taxes and everything. So it's very affordable. The D is the only hotel and casino group in Vegas that accepts Bitcoin, of all things.
Love the name.
Hit where it says. Do you know what it stands for?
Tell me.
Detroit. That's where I come from. So I walk into this place. It reminds me of home more than anything. I'm like, I don't come to Vegas to like visit Detroit, but strangely enough, the man who owns the D is Derek Stevens. He started accepting Bitcoin here in 2013. And like, we're trying to get him on Tone's show to talk because we're dying to know. And then strangely enough, my husband worked for him in Detroit because that is where Derek Stevens is from. So my husband worked for him for like 20 years. They moved out to Vegas. They got involved in the minor league team there, bought this casino, opened up another one called the Circa. And so we do the conference there because they're the only Bitcoiners. And we make sure everything's within walking distance. We have fun. And we're going to have a very Bitcoin wedding on this Saturday.
That's pretty cool. Our friend, our colleague Joby can't be here, but I know he loves the D, but I don't think I'm not talking about Detroit. So I'm just picking on him because he's not here.
Yeah, you're talking about this.
The other D.
No, hilariously, so Tone and I went over there to meet, our event person. We sit down at the bar where it's all Detroit television stations and sports, which is freaking me out. And then the actual, like, the drink glasses and stuff were all the exact same glasses they would have at the bar that I worked at. And then the last time I was there, I actually ran into someone that used to come into the bar I worked at. I'm like, this is so weird. They run commercials in Detroit. So like people who've never been to Vegas, they come here and they stay at the D. Okay, wait, go back to the booking again.
Yes, ma'am. Give me 1 sec.
But then you got to scroll it to December.
Adam Back will be there. Satoshi.
Jack Mallers is our keynote.
Scroll.
See what Jack's up to.
All
right, now scroll to December.
I'm kind of annoying because I ask everybody if there's Satoshi.
12.
Say it again.
I ask everybody if there's Satoshi, so I'm trying to rule out, find out who's Satoshi, but nobody ever, except for Craig Wright, nobody ever said they were Satoshi.
It's okay. So let's see. Here's a couple interesting. There's a guy that I think is kind of interesting that could have had something to do with it, and I never say his name right. Len Sussaman. He is Norwegian or he's Scandinavian, and he has all of the right things to help Hal and to help Adam Back. So like it could never have been one person. Now scroll down. Can you scroll there? Like see where it says November? Like keep scrolling down. Can you do that or not?
I'm trying to, but it's not letting me. Do it. No, it's not letting me. It's not letting me scroll months. Yeah, it's only giving me, and I can't even click on that.
Hit done and see what it does. Maybe it'll pull those dates up.
That it just gives it for those dates. I tried to edit.
That's so weird. Oh, maybe you got to clear it.
When I booked, it was like $27. It was so insane.
Thank you. That's what I wanted you to see. Is like that the Tuesday and Wednesday are like $29 a night. So and it gets more expensive going into the weekend, but it evens it out to like $150 a night. Can't go wrong with that.
It was dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I wanted to make like a commercial for it and to say this will be the cheapest hotel room you're going to find at any Bitcoin conference this year. And it's true.
My brother is a kind of a hotel Nazi, and he always gets me at buying just the right time.
Okay, so what was it was the 7th?
Oh, here we go. There you go. Yeah. Okay, so look at that. So if you come in, so like the poker game is on the 6th. So like, let's say you come in on Tuesday, $29 a night. Wednesday, $29 a night. Then it's $99, $229. So it evens out to about $150, and that includes taxes and everything per night. So if like you come with a friend and you split a room, it's a great deal.
Yeah. You split it, it's only about $250 per person.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, like I haven't been able to do that anywhere.
Yeah, no, you're not going to find a lot of deals in Vegas right now.
Joe, would you like to be my +1?
that about? What is going on in Vegas? Why is it so crazy?
Well, so they just built that stupid spear, right? Spear.
Yep. Okay, that's not stupid. Not stupid, because I do go to Vegas like 6 times a year because my sister does play poker. And all of a sudden, that sphere has become the most interesting thing to look at on your balcony. Like, I just laid out there on my balcony couch and watched this thing. It's huge. You can't even fathom how big it is.
I'm waiting for the day that someone live hacks it or someone hacks it and then puts on like Kim Kardashian's sex tape or something like that, you know?
Oh my God. Yeah. And then I have a friend who went to the opening night of U2.
Oh,
said it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, unbelievable. It's like IMAX.
I could imagine that would be pretty amazing. But they have
so I am kind of into that.
They've got the Sphere that just opened up. They have F1 coming downtown, so they're getting ready for F1. They have the Knights who just won the NHL championship. The Oakland A's are moving out there at some point in the next 5 years. They're already working on a contract with that. I know that because I have family members who are in Alameda County Sheriff's Department, and they were telling me that it looks like they're going to be leaving Oakland. The Raiders moved out there. So they've got all those sports teams. Vegas will become a hub of, I mean, it's always been a hub of like gambling and stuff like that, UFC, but it's becoming a lot more of a sports person's like vacation spot. So I know
you just confirmed what I've been thinking. I mean, like, as somebody who's been going to Vegas for 30 years, and like I said, I go like, I'm going in next week. This will be my 6th trip this year, and it has never been this busy. Like, we went on 4th of July weekend. Like, I'm like, get back to the national parks, people. What are you doing here? Like, this has never been like this on 4th of July.
So then you can also look at it's kind of bad too, because the increase in tourism fees has skyrocketed. So if you look at your invoices for your hotel, you'll see like you're paying for those stadiums. You're paying for the Sphere, right? Like they're
luckily for me, I play video poker and I play it well. I know how to play. So I never pay for a room. Never. I don't pay resort fees. I don't pay shit.
Must be nice.
And, well, I don't spend that much. If you know how to play video poker, you can play forever. All right. It's like one of the few games that has any skill involved. And so you may not win, but you're not going to lose fast. And I always get my free rooms out of it because of it. So I try to take advantage of them as much as I can, because I usually stay at the Cosmopolitan, which I love. And Tone and I went to Vegas, and then we went straight to Austin in August. I had $500 in my purse when I left. When I came home, I had been gone 11 days. I still had $50 of cash in my purse. That's how much money I spent in Vegas, was $450.
Yeah. Luckily my godfather lives in Henderson, so I have I've already got a room built in for everything. So if I decide I want to go to like EDC next year or whatever I want to do, I just send him a text and don't even tell him, like, I don't even ask him. It's like, hey, I'm coming to your house for this period of time and will not be there for a lot of it, but I will be out drinking. So
now I will tell you, there were 2 awesome meetups, the Vegas one and the Henderson one, but they have merged into one big meetup, and these guys are awesome. So when you go, look them up for sure.
Definitely will have to do that.
They're awesome people.
Is there anything else that you wanted to cover about Unconfiscatable, or you want to talk more about that?
So please come. We would love to have you. It's a celebration of Bitcoin. It'll change you. It's very, very, there's no place for VIPs to hide. It's small, it's intimate. You're going to meet everybody. I do hear that it's like the conference that people get the most business done. So that's a big part of it for people. And yes, if anyone is interested, get a hold of me. I'll get you a discount. I'll get you Tone's special discount code.
I personally will be there for my midlife crisis. I already have the flight and hotel, and I'm ready to win the poker tournament.
His wife gave me.
I'm excited for you. I can't wait to I know so many people who are playing this year, and everyone's really excited.
I hope I don't lose people are practicing. I hope I don't lose on the very first hand. That would be bad. I want to hang out with these guys. I don't want to lose right away.
I would hate. Well, it's okay. You'll still get to hang out. I mean, as long as you're there, you'll be able to hang out all night. And what happens is, about halfway through the tournament is when the opening night party starts.
Oh, yeah.
So we let that. So yeah, you'll definitely be there to hang out with everybody, no matter what. But you never know. You might make it to the end.
I'd be more interested in the food. I love to eat.
For sure. For sure. I'm with you. Oh, and carnivory dinner. If you have not signed up for the carnivory dinner, it will be worth it. It is not cheap. However, we have rented, I'm not going to tell you where because it's a secret, but it is a fabulous, very old school supper club style steakhouse with a 360 view of Las Vegas.
Ooh.
And it is a private night.
Ooh.
And there's only room for 125 people, and 50 of them are speakers and VIPs. So for coming to and speaking and such, that comes with their deal. Mm-hmm. And so there's only 75 spots. It'll be worth it. The networking is the best, and it's small, and it's going to be really cool.
I didn't know.
You now have your mission that you're going to have to make us some friends to have people come on the show.
Well, I did make a T-shirt. I made a T-shirt with my face on it, so that should help. But I didn't know Tone Base was a knight. Look at that thing on his head. That's pretty cute.
Oh my God, isn't that hysterical?
That's fun.
So. Do you guys know World of Rusty?
Nope.
World of Rusty. He's an artist. He's the one who's done all of these, all of this, the cards that have the people on them. This was Tone's one of his first conferences was this Understanding Bitcoin. And he hasn't done it again. In fact, I don't even think they did it because was that before or after? That was COVID.
Yeah, that was.
So I'm not even sure that
happened.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that some of these are hilarious. Yeah, I like him in that. Look at him in that chainmail. Makes him look so tough.
I want memes of me too. What's going on?
We can make that happen.
I want to be the court jester. It'll be fine. Natalie Brunel.
Natalie will be there. She's definitely coming. Like I said, I'm looking for Giacomo and Mir. Do you guys know Giacomo?
I do not know.
Okay, Giacomo is one of the smartest, literally one of the smartest people I've ever known. He actually taught himself how to speak English just so he could talk about Bitcoin because no one in Italy talked about Bitcoin. He's a physicist. Yeah, he's like a mathematical genius physicist. And his wife is no dummy either. She is awesome. So they're going to be hosting the Scammy Awards. So that was what I wanted to tell you. The closing night party, we have the Scammy Awards where we award people like Richard Hart and SBF little poop-shaped awards. BitBoy for sure, I'm sure. So we try to we'll put out a voting thing of okay, who's going to win the category for this? Who's going to win the category for that? And then we have that on the final night. And that's
you guys should do biggest bag in which someone is a douche and give it to BitBoy.
Okay. Yes, I'm with you. We'll see who the biggest scammers are this year, and I believe Giacomo and Mir are going to be hosting because the crypto couple is having a baby.
Oh, congratulations to them. That's exciting.
How convenient.
I think right. How convenient. Suddenly cannot host the Scammies, but no, their baby is due a week after. So yeah,
that gives her a whole like 5 days to get back and recover. Right. She's going to be fine.
That's right.
Proof of work, proof of baby.
Bring the baby with you. No, I went to an eBay conference when my son was 4 weeks old. He was so tiny, and I snuck him in. No one could even see him. I put him in one of those like carriers.
Yeah.
No one even knew he was there.
Put him in a pouch.
But he was so little. But I made it anyway, so I think she might be able to do it too.
Yeah, exactly. She's definitely got this.
For sure.
Right. Well,
you're gonna meet some smart ass people. The people you meet here, like I said, these are the people who changed my world. And like I've loved meeting other groups of people, but like this is my crew. These are my people because these were my first people.
Yeah, the longer I am in this space, the more and more I fall in love with it. Just like having conversations with people like you and the guests that we've had. We're not a big show, but we've been very fortunate to have some really cool people come on.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and the space is just amazing. Like everyone is just happy to be here. Everyone it's a very giving community, right? Like no one wants to gatekeep information. No one wants everyone to lose out, right? They want everyone who's in Bitcoin to succeed. And you obviously have your bad actors in the space, but for the most part, I have found everyone here to be like genuine and they want to help you learn. They give you resources. Like, when I first had questions, I would reach out to Rob from Asset News, and he made me a moderator in his group. And so one day I was talking to him on Twitter, and I was like, I'd love to start a show. Like, not that we can, feel like that we're putting anything out there that it's not already out there, but it just to send it to like family members and stuff like that. That's how I got my channel started. Was I made my first couple of videos on, like Bitcoin and crypto investing and why and how to do it safely so you don't get rug pulled by like SBF and self-storage and stuff like that. And that was because of Rob. And he's like, just do it. Stop talking about it and just do it. Like, this is how you do it. Here's, he gave me a bunch of resources and stuff to look up to how to stream, and then told me to go ham. And he's like, just go figure it out. And
nice.
Yeah. And it's just people like that in the space who really want everyone to succeed and to just do well. So.
Well, I mean, that's exactly what, I became a moderator on Tone's channel, and I just showed up every day.
Yeah.
And I listened. Yeah. And then, pretty soon you're getting well known because people know who you are and they see you there. Hey, I bet I can get Surfer Jim to come on. I probably can get Tone to come on.
We would love to have them both on. Anyone who is willing to come on and talk to us about Bitcoin and the space and how we can make it better,
Yes.
And,
I'll start you with Surfer Jim just because you will love him so much. He's so great.
Yeah, I mean, any
real guy
willing to give us, we'd love to have it. So we love talking about the space, and
we'd love to do that for you.
What do they say? The squeaky wheel gets the oil. It just keeps showing up, and eventually they're like, "Well, I get."
Exactly. That's the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
You're like, if you're here this far in the bear market, you must be for real. But
amen to that.
Don't let me forget. I'll send you my link for the SAS mining if you want. You can get some free porn.
Yes. See if you can hook me up with him, because I want to talk to him more. I saw it all and I'm like, this is really interesting, and I want to understand the mining world, and I want to see how this is happening. Yeah, and I feel like that's a way for me to do it on a smaller scale so that I can really see the big picture.
As soon as we close this episode out, while you're on, I will send a DM to Kent and with you in it as well, and so we can get you guys hooked up together.
He's really great. They actually put you in a little Telegram group. There's like 60 of us in there, so because kind of busy right now. I'm seeing all the updates come through because they're starting to deploy today. The rigs are going through customs and all that.
You guys know Patrick Lumberjack?
I do not.
He's probably in there. He's a Vegas guy.
Oh yeah. I did DM him actually. Yep, he said he was in Vegas.
Yeah, he's a really good guy.
Yep, he's in the.
And he was the first one to tell me about SAS mining. So I'm like, wow, that's interesting. So yeah, I would really be interested in meeting Kent and learning more about it.
Yeah, I'll make it happen for you.
Watch we did the podcast too. You can watch that. He kind of explained it.
Yeah.
Yep. I love that idea. I think it's really fascinating.
Definitely. So we'll get that taken care of. We're going on 2 hours. I don't know if there's anything else you guys want to cover. Mel, is there any?
I'm good. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we try to end the episodes with we normally ask the person to give some dad advice, but you're obviously not a dad, so why don't can you give the listeners some mom advice or just advice that has changed your life or that you think not enough people or something that enough people need to hear today?
Oh boy.
I know, I'm throwing a curveball at you.
You should have told me this earlier. I would have had it.
Damn good too.
Because I always have a good one, and then of course, then I forget. Let's see. Listen more than you talk.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a really good one.
There you go.
I
need to follow that myself sometimes, but listen more than you talk.
Especially if you're the host. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a tattoo that's it says NMAOTKYFMS. That's tattooed on my wrist.
What's it mean? It
stands for never miss an opportunity to keep your fucking mouth shut.
Perfect.
So my
You're
grandfather
right.
was my grandfather was a snake eater in Vietnam. He is a bad motherfucker. He is in his 70s and still does CrossFit.
Wow.
Up until recently, he actually just found out that he had he had cancer. So they had to go in and do some treatment on him. And then he had his hip replaced or knee replaced. So that has finally slowed him down a little bit, but he still gets out and goes on like 5-mile hikes every day. He lives out in Nevada in the mountains, and still goes on like mile-long hikes every day and stuff. He's just an incredible man. But when I was
70s like the new 60, 70s the new 50.
Yep. Get him in with Lepard. He does CrossFit.
Does he? I had no idea.
Lepard does.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Wait, did you just add me to that group? Did you just add me to a mining group?
I did not.
Oh, okay. I thought it was.
No, I don't.
Somebody waved at me.
But
I'm like, what's this? Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
We really appreciate it. We love having women on who in the space. So if you have any other women who would like, you think would like to come on the show and talk, we're trying to break the stigma that Bitcoin is just for men and this space is just for men.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm in my 30s, so I'm the youngest person in our for breaking the cycle, the show. I'm the youngest person, and I am so sick of seeing like my friends who are straddled with hundreds of thousands of dollars of fucking tuition debt that they'll never be able to repay. Just because they were told that they need to go get high interest loans and go to college and stuff like that. So I'm always trying to push like people in my generation to get into investing and look into Bitcoin because it can potentially, I don't want any of my friends or anyone in my generation to not be able to purchase a home. I want them to be able to purchase a home, to be able to have a family, to do all that, like the American dream. And I feel like Bitcoin is one of the few things left that can help, get people to that.
I agree. Goal. I agree with you so much. And if I could get any of my children to jump on this and get going, that's one of the reasons why I want to do the SAS mining, because I feel like my son will be interested in that and he'll want to see what that's about. Like he gets the processor thing, like he gets that. So I want him to get into it. And, it's like, you're so young.
Yeah,
get into it honestly, now.
I had, I'll tell you this, a story a little more complete offline, but I'll give the basic version here. But when I was in my early 20s, I was doing security for a billionaire, residential security, armed security, and executive protection. And one of his other EP agents was telling me about Bitcoin in like 2000 and I want to say it was like 2017, something like that, 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kept telling me, he's like, dude, you need to start buying into this. And I'm like, what is it? And he's like, oh, it's internet money. And that's just, like he didn't break it down to the point that I understood it. But looking back, if I had started to invest in Bitcoin back then, I would be a multi-millionaire if I had just put in 10% of my paycheck like he was telling me to do.
But I still think you can do that now.
You still can, definitely, but it's like it's not going to go as far, right? Like 2017.
You don't know that.
Yeah, that's true. Like it definitely can. It's definitely going to go up.
And the thing is,
everything, but
what else has this potential? I mean, we can say that maybe some shit coins will outperform Bitcoin, but that's generally not how it goes.
No.
So
it's exponential.
I have just gotten to the point where I'm doing my $10 a day, dollar cost average, and I still trade a little bit, but just for fun. And I don't do anything that I can lose my stack. You know what I mean? Like I just won't. But yeah, it's the DCA, dollar cost average everything, and like right now, double it up because we're scraping along the bottom right now.
Yeah, absolutely. All the indicators are definitely saying that. So, and when BlackRock comes in and starts buying it all up.
Yeah, except you know what? BlackRock is buying up everything. So that's kind of a myth. Like, I guess BlackRock truly is invested in every single industry.
Every industry.
And everyone. So we're no exception. They don't know anything special. That's what I've learned. Like, I did believe that maybe they did, but they don't. They just do this because this is how they operate.
Yeah, they have enough money they can throw a little bit at everything for sure. So
if you buy everything, you can't miss.
They seem to own like 5 to 7% of all of the publicly traded Bitcoin mining companies. Which we could go on a nice long conversation about that, but we don't have time for that today. But yeah.
Yeah, they just recently changed their weight on or changed their rating on CleanSpark to oversold, I believe. And so they're
really okay. See, I like CleanSpark. They're actually their cost per Bitcoin is pretty low.
Yeah, they did a great job in
the
bear market on preparing for this next bull market. So their CleanSpark's a great.
I know Taylor. He's their chief of mining, and he's a Bitcoiner.
Yeah.
And a lot of these public companies, however, are not. Take a look at Core Scientific, if you will. Look at that on the side. It's not pretty. It's some ugly shit going on.
Yeah, same with HUD 8, so it seems.
I agree. You know what? So I started, this is crazy, but I started to learn how to read SEC filings. Because if you are a publicly traded company, you got to file these things. HUD 8, at least 2 to 3 times a week, submits updates to the SEC that are composed of tweets and memes.
Yeah, that's not the best look.
No, and there isn't another I started to look around like, is this real? Do other people do this too? No, just HUD 8. Like, what are you hiding? Because you can't look at like a JPEG. You can't search a JPEG.
Yeah, definitely.
So what are you hiding? So that is a little bit of a red flag to me. CleanSpark is probably the least of all evils, and again, because they've tried really hard, and they are Bitcoiners, and so it's very difficult to be a public company, a public Bitcoin company, and if you are a mining company, you're protecting the base layer of Bitcoin. Or are you more concerned with your shareholders? So if you're a publicly traded company, 9 times out of 10, you're more concerned about your shareholders.
Yeah.
You're not giving a shit about the Bitcoin base layer. So there you go. Food for thought.
It's very true. So, all right, guys. Well, I know we're gonna wrap it up. This has been one of the longer episodes.
I gotta go.
Yeah, no.
Go Pios. It's Pios homecoming, so I have to go and get ready to cheer the team.
Okay. Well, we will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for coming on, Mel. We really appreciate it. Go follow her on Twitter. It's Girls Bitcoin, right? Girls underscore Bitcoin. Yep. So make sure you guys give her a follow. Go ahead.
Thanks.
And we will.
I was just gonna say I started that because there were no girls.
Yeah, there's really not. I
thought it was funny, but then everyone thought I was like trying to start a movement. I'm like, no, I was just trying to be funny.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. So, we still enjoy
all right,
it.
Well, thanks, you guys.
Thanks for everyone for stopping by. We hope you enjoyed. Mel, you're amazing. We love you. And we will talk to you guys again soon. Y'all go outside, touch some grass, call someone you haven't talked to in a while, tell them you love them, all that fun stuff. You know the spiel. Have a great one, guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye.